My journey to Kingston began with a bubbling sense of excitement and curiosity, the kind that makes your heart race as the plane descends. I gazed out the window watching the lush green landscape and sparkling coastline come into view, knowing I was about to set foot in a place I'd only ever imagined. My suitcase was packed with light cotton dresses, sandals and a sun hat, essentials for a tropical adventure. Each item felt like a promise of new experiences, of sun-drenched days and balmy nights. I'd always dreamt of Jamaica, not just for its famous white sand beaches, but for the vibrant, pulsating heart of its capital. Kingston, with its colourful streets and lively spirit, had always called to me from afar. The city's reggae rhythms, its rich and sometimes tumultuous history, and a culture so vivid you could almost taste it in the air. These were the things that drew me here. I wanted to feel the music, see the art and hear the stories that make Kingston unique. I arrived on a golden Thursday afternoon, the air thick with the scent of blooming tropical flowers and the constant hum of city life. The sun cast a warm glow over palm-lined streets, and everywhere I looked there was movement and colour. My plan was simple: explore beyond the glossy pages of tourist brochures and connect with the real soul of the city. I wanted to wander through neighbourhoods where locals lived, worked and laughed, to discover the hidden gems that only reveal themselves to those who look a little closer. From my hotel veranda, I watched the world go by, brightly painted cars weaving through traffic, purposeful people moving with the rhythm of daily life, and the city's infectious energy pulsing below. It felt like Kingston was inviting me to join in. I felt a magnetic pull to step outside, to join the flow of people and become part of Kingston's living, breathing story. The city seemed to whisper promises of adventure and connection. That first evening, I found myself at a small outdoor cafe, simply sitting and observing. I let the atmosphere wash over me as the sky transformed into a canvas of orange and pink, the city's skyline silhouetted against the setting sun. As night fell, the city's sounds shifted. Laughter and conversation floated through the air and music began to rise from nearby bars, blending reggae beats with the pulse of Kingston's nightlife. Kingston was already weaving its magic around me, and I could feel myself falling under its spell. Every sight, sound and scent felt new and exhilarating. With every step I took on those vibrant streets, I knew I was about to embark on my own unplanned adventure, one that would reveal the true heart of Jamaica, one moment at a time. The next morning I set out with a spring in my step and my trusty map, eager to explore the city's hidden corners. The sun was already warming the pavement and the air buzzed with the promise of new discoveries. I felt a sense of excitement, ready to see Kingston through fresh eyes. My destination was a local market said to be bursting with life, colour and handmade crafts. I'd heard stories of its vibrant energy, the laughter of vendors and the aroma of fresh fruit and spices filling the air. It sounded like the perfect place to start my day and soak in the city's spirit. The directions seemed simple enough, and I felt confident as I wandered through Kingston's fascinating blend of old and new architecture. Each building told a story, some with faded colonial facades, others gleaming with modern glass and steel. I admired the way history and progress coexisted on every block. Lost in the sights and sounds, I almost missed my turn. I quickly corrected course, stepping onto a quieter residential street painted in a rainbow of colors. Lush green plants spilled over garden walls and the air felt cooler, shaded by the overhanging trees. It was a peaceful contrast to the busy main road. After 10 more minutes of walking, doubt began to creep in. The street felt too quiet, too far removed from the market's expected bustle. The distant sounds of the city faded, replaced by the gentle hum of insects and the occasional bark of a dog. I started to wonder if I'd made a wrong turn. The familiar sounds of traffic and chatter faded away, replaced by distant laughter and the crow of a rooster echoing through the neighborhood. It was as if I'd stepped into a different world, one that moved at a slower, quieter pace. I glanced down at my map, but the streets and landmarks no longer matched the reality before me. The lines and names on the paper seemed to blur, offering no clear guidance. A knot of anxiety formed in my stomach as I realized I was lost. The confidence I'd felt earlier was quickly replaced by uncertainty, and I could feel my heart beating a little faster. Panic flickered at the edges of my mind, but I forced myself to stay calm. I took a deep breath and looked around, trying to make sense of the unfamiliar streets and find something, anything that looked familiar. Every corner looked the same, with rows of brightly painted houses and winding lanes. I couldn't retrace my steps, and each turn seemed to lead me further from where I'd started. For a moment I considered turning back, but I wasn't even sure which way that was anymore. The streets twisted and turned, and my sense of direction had all but vanished. Yet in that confusion something shifted. My real Kingston adventure began, not the one I'd planned, but the one that found me. Sometimes getting lost is just another way to discover a city's true heart. Being lost is a cocktail of fear and freedom. It's a strange sensation, a rush of adrenaline mixed with a quiet thrill, as if the world has suddenly become both larger and more mysterious. In that moment, you realize you're no longer following a script. You're writing your own story, step by uncertain step. My first instinct was to pull out my phone, but the battery was low and there was no signal. The digital safety net I'd always relied on had vanished, leaving me exposed and a little vulnerable. I felt a pang of anxiety, realizing that technology couldn't save me this time. It was just me, my useless map and the winding road ahead. The lines on the paper blurred, offering no real guidance, and every street seemed to twist away from certainty. I was forced to rely on my instincts, to trust my own sense of direction, however shaky it felt. For a moment I stood still, letting the uncertainty wash over me. The city's sounds grew louder, the colors more vivid, as if inviting me to pay closer attention. Panic faded, replaced by a strange calm. There was nothing to do but keep walking and trust the journey. Each step forward felt like a small act of courage, a decision to move through the unknown rather than retreat from it. I decided to embrace it, off the map, literally and figuratively. I let go of the need for certainty, allowing myself to wander, to be guided by curiosity instead of a plan. This was a Kingston not found in guidebooks. The city revealed itself in unexpected ways, through hidden alleys, colourful murals, and the laughter of locals going about their day. I walked with new purpose, no longer a tourist but an explorer. Every corner held the promise of discovery, and every unfamiliar face became a potential story. Curiosity replaced fear as I noticed the intricate gates, blooming flowers, and sunlight dancing through mango trees. Details I might have missed before now seemed to leap out, each one a reminder that beauty often hides in the overlooked. The world slowed down. I could simply be present. I breathed in the air, listened to the city's rhythm, and let myself be part of it, if only for a little while. Without a destination, I felt liberated. The pressure to arrive somewhere melted away, replaced by the joy of simply moving forward, wherever that might lead. To be untethered, even briefly, was a gift. It was a reminder that sometimes the best parts of travel and of life are found when we let go of control. I was lost, but I was also finding a more adventurous, resilient version of myself. Each step into the unknown was a step toward growth, toward becoming someone braver than before. The journey was now about discovering whatever lay around the next corner, and trusting that sometimes being lost is exactly where you're meant to be. As I ventured deeper, the quiet gave way to a symphony of Jamaican sounds. From an open window, a soulful reggae bass line pulsed through the air, guiding my steps. Laughter from women on porches, children playing cricket, and a vendor's melodic calls layered the soundscape. It was a beautiful cacophony, real, alive, and far from the tourist areas. I followed the music to a small square, alive with local energy. The smell of sizzling jerk chicken filled the air, making my stomach rumble. An elderly man played guitar on a bench, smiling warmly as I passed. In that moment, I felt immersed in the culture, no longer an outsider. The sounds of Kingston told a story of community and resilience. I had stumbled upon the soul of Jamaica, brought to life by the extraordinary symphony of its streets. The visual landscape was as captivating as the sounds. Every wall was a canvas, vibrant murals depicting history, music, and hope. The colours were bold, telling the story of the community's spirit. People were just as colourful, a woman with a bright head wrap, men playing dominoes, each with their own story. Gathering courage, I approached a woman tending her garden and explained I was lost. Her name was Grace, and her warm smile put me at ease. "You just took the scenic route," she laughed, instantly easing my anxiety. Grace gave me directions and shared stories about her neighbourhood, where musicians grew up, where children learned to dance. We talked like old friends, leaning against her fence. This simple conversation was more enriching than any guided tour. I was learning about Kingston from someone who lived and breathed it every day. Grace's kindness was just the beginning. Her directions were more landmarks than street names. Walk to the big mango tree, then ask for Mr. Brown. At the tree, I met Mr. Brown, a retired history teacher with a passion for storytelling. He welcomed me, offered water, and shared the area's history with pride. This was living history, passed down through memory. Mr. Brown pointed me to a bakery for the best Jamaican patty, even walking me to the end of his street. At every turn, friendly faces offered help. Schoolgirls giggled, a shopkeeper gave directions. The fear of being lost vanished, replaced by a sense of safety and community. The warmth and generosity were overwhelming. The people of Kingston showed me that kindness is a universal language. I was a stranger, yet treated like a friend. The true heart of a place is found in its people. Following Mr. Brown's advice, I found the bakery. The aroma of freshly baked patties was irresistible. I tried a beef patty, flaky, spicy, and unforgettable. My culinary adventure continued with sky juice from a street vendor, shaved ice with sweet syrup, perfect for the heat. Sitting on a wall, I savored my snack and watched the world go by. This was more than food, it was a taste of local life. The streets were a feast for the eyes. Painted storefronts, colorful laundry, decorated minibuses, every detail added to the neighborhood's vibrant tapestry. This unplanned detour became a full sensory immersion. I was tasting, hearing, seeing, and feeling the essence of Kingston. My map had led me astray, but my senses guided me to the city's heart. To truly know a place, you have to experience it with your whole being. This journey was teaching me a new way to travel. Eventually, familiar landmarks appeared, a church steeple, a signpost on my map. Relief washed over me, mixed with a tinge of sadness as my accidental adventure ended. I walked back to my hotel with a new perspective. The city no longer felt foreign, it felt like a friend. The once intimidating streets were now familiar, the faces potential friends. I'd peeled back a layer of Kingston and discovered its warmth and vibrancy. Back at my hotel, I looked out over the city with new eyes. I saw the communities, artists, and spirit that made this place unique. Getting lost had been the most important part of my journey. That evening, I folded my map away, ready to rely on it less. The best travel experiences are about connection, discovery, and embracing the unexpected. Getting lost in Kingston taught me that the most direct path isn't always the most rewarding. We often travel with rigid plans, missing the magic in the detours. It's in those unplanned moments that true adventure lies, where authentic stories and genuine connections are found. The kindness of strangers restored my faith in humanity and reminded me of our shared desire for community. This journey pushed me out of my comfort zone and taught me to trust my instincts. I discovered resilience and joy in the unexpected. That wrong turn was the best mistake I ever made. If my adventure sparked wonder in your heart, I invite you to subscribe and join me for more. Together, let's explore hidden corners, celebrate kindness, and learn the beautiful lessons travel has to offer. Let's get wonderfully lost together.